everybody, this is Miss Route. This video is for Nearpod for week 6 and 7. Remember, you do 3 activities this week because it counts for week and 7. So we're going to be in the time period now. We're all still in the 1800s, and this is called the Industrial Revolution. Now, we've heard the word revolution before, but good if I could say it right. Revolution, and remember in the American Revolution, we said that revolution meant a big change. So the Industrial Revolution is a big change the way they make goods, okay? So it's going to be faster and quicker, and they're going to be able to make things in like factories now, and they have all these cool inventions. Now, this part of the video, we're going to talk about the inventions, and then the next one, we'll talk about how changes in transportation help with distribution. Now, the inventions are going to help with production. Now, remember what we do for production? We say production, and I say production, and then you go making of something. There's a pie, okay? Now, so over in England, they already had their Industrial Revolution going on, and they were keeping it secret. They didn't want anybody else to have their inventions, and I don't blame them. So they would not let inventors leave the country with their blueprints for their inventions. But Samuel Slater, he outsmarted him. He memorized all the parts and how to build these inventions. He memorized them. And then when he came over to America, he wrote them down, and he would sell them to people. And he started building the first textile mills. Now, this textile mill, this is like the blueprint of one, or a picture of what one would look like. And then in these textile mills, this one would make cloth, okay? And it would make it by using these machines, these big spinning looms, and it would take the cotton and the yarn and make it into cloth all in one building. And usually we'd have to do this by hand, and it would take a long time. So they would use these big wheels here that would turn by water. Of course, that'd be by water. And they would turn these wheels, and it would go and pull all these levers here, and it would make the machine work. And they started hiring women and children to work in these factories. And the women and children, even the women here, they would be young girls, like 11 to 16, and they would work in these, and they would even live nearby these factories, and they would work 14 to 16 hours, and it was hard work. And just imagine they would have to do this motion to the machines, just keep doing this for a little while, and to keep the machine online. And if their hair, if they were trying to fix the machine and their hair would get caught in the machine, the owners would just cut the hair off and tell them get back to work, because there's so many people that needed work at this time. They would have to work sick, and they'd work all these long hours. And like I said, they started hiring children to work in these. And if you can look, this little boy's up top of one of these in this spinning mill, in this textile mill, and he's up trying to change what they call the bobbins. And you look, he doesn't even have shoes on, and he could get his little feet caught in these machines and cut them, but they needed to work, so they didn't go to school. They went to work to try to help support their families in this time period, okay? So this is called child labor. So this started during the Industrial Revolution, and where all these inventions are happening. I'm going to show you another picture real quick. So these boys, they look young. They're working at a glass factory, okay? This little girl is also working in a spinning mill, okay? And she's very young looking. So all these kids now are working. This is a 7-year-old little girl named Rosie, and she's working as an oyster shucker, okay? And this is the early 1900s, and look, she's working. So this is child labor. So the Industrial Revolution did bring on kids and working in these factories. Now, like I said, there was a lot of inventions during this time. And one invention was called the cotton gin. Now you're thinking, what in the world's that? Well, the cotton gin in the South, where the slaves worked picking cotton. Now, this isn't an old cotton that a student got me a long time ago in Georgia. So when you would pull off the cotton, it would be in this little pod, and you can see that this little thing would be sharp if it was fresh. And when they pick it off, at first the slaves, their hands would be sore, and they, might even might cut them, but their hands will get calloused and hard after a while. And so they would pick this cotton off, and they put this in, their little pouch that they would carry, and then they would take it back up. Now, all this little piece of cotton here has a bunch of seeds in it. Now, if you can see that little seed, and it's very, it takes a long time to get these seeds out. So you have to work and work to try to get, because you don't want to waste the cotton, because more cotton you have, the more moolah, more money. So they would take this seed out, and they would have to take the seed out. Well, Eli Whitney made this invention called the cotton gin. And you'd put cotton here, and you'd take it through, and you turn this little wheel, and they would have these little combs inside that would take out the seeds. Now, while one person would take out one seed, Eli Whitney's machine here would clean out 50 seeds. So it's 50 times faster. And you're like, whoa, the slaves would be so excited about this because it make their job easier. But what it did is now they can clean cotton faster, so they want more cotton. So guess who has to go pick it? The slaves. So now the slaves are in the South, and they really have to work hard to get more cotton picked. Because remember, the more cotton you have, the more money that the plantations are going to make. So that's the cotton gin. Then they also invented this machine called the telegraph. Now the telegraph, think of a tele in there, it sounds familiar like a telephone. The telegraph, you would hit this here, and it would send a beep along a wire. Here's some telegraph wires, and we'll talk about the railroad coming soon. So it sends a series of beeps through these wires, and the telegraph operator would know how to listen to the beeps, and it was a code. It was Morse code from the founder Samuel Morse. And you might have heard of Morse code before. So like if it was a long beep, you would hear like A would, let's say A, each letter had series of beeps that stood for it. And so they would listen to it, and they would write out the message, and it would be called a telegram. Now, this really made communication faster. Even out in the West, they could get telegrams. Now, they would still have to take you. It would be at a telegram office, and they would try to get the telegram to you. And you could send a telegram, and they could get it instantly. This started off, and then they built from this invention and get the telephone, and then all, up to our cell phone. So this little invention started it all, the telegraph, okay? That would send messages along these wires. So the telegraph by Samuel Morse. John Deere you've heard of John Deere tractor? He made the steel plow during this time, and this really helped out in the West farm because the sod out in the West was very hard. The ground was very hard, so they used a steel plow so they could plow their land. So all these great inventions really helped and make production faster. So the Industrial Revolution. Miss you all.